Hey everyone, welcome to Recap Blitz. The story begins in the middle of the wide ocean. A big ship pulls out something heavy from the deep water. It is an old iron coffin, almost 500 years old. The coffin is opened, and inside a woman rises. She is the queen. She is still alive because she cannot die. She is immortal. Far away, in Croatia, Andy and her immortal team are on a mission. Their target is a dangerous weapon dealer. Andy's immortality had ended 6 months ago, yet she still fights with her team, side by side, without fear. The team keeps watch outside the dealer's house. The night is silent until a guard comes near a tree to relieve himself. Andy and James move quietly, strike fast, and knock him unconscious without a sound. At the same time, Nikki and Joe slip inside through the garden path. They face 2 more guards, and a fight breaks out. One guard pulls out a knife and slices off Joe's thumb. Blood spills, but Joe kills the guard, picks up his own thumb, and fixes it back. In a few seconds, his wound heals like nothing happened. Both then fire shots into the air, creating chaos, and steal 2 cars. The noise forces more guards to rush outside, chasing after them. With the path cleared, Andy and James enter the house. But more guards appear inside, guns ready. A rain of bullets fills the hall. Andy spots a sword hanging on the wall. She grabs it, moving like a storm, cutting down enemies in seconds. She moves through another door, takes another room, and slays more guards from behind. Meanwhile, Niall, an ex-Marine, arrives by boat. She sprays bullets on enemies near the back of the house. Her boat crashes into the stairs, so she leaps out and charges forward. Bullets hit her body, but her wounds close instantly, her immortal power keeping her alive. She climbs over the wall, reaches the balcony, and keeps fighting. Inside, Andy and James are still battling wave after wave of guards, shooting, striking with swords, fists, and kicks. From above, Niall jumps down from the balcony. She catches a flagpole, swings, and dives through a window into the house. She kills the last guard and joins her team. Outside on a mountain road, the chase is still burning. Enemies fire from behind, and Joe and Nikki fight back, killing some of them. Their cars come close. Nikki climbs out of the window, trying to jump, but suddenly an enemy car crashes into him. His leg breaks badly, but the enemy's car flies off the cliff and explodes below. Within seconds, Nikki's leg heals. He kicks down enemy bikes, then climbs into Joe's car, but another enemy vehicle rams them, and all of them are thrown into the sea. They have no choice but to swim to the shore. Back inside the house, Andy, Niall, and James climb to the upper floor. After a fierce fight, they finally reach the weapon dealer. A few bullets are enough. He falls from the balcony and dies. Before leaving, Niall takes a spear, keeping it close. Later in the evening, James gets a call from his friend in the CIA. The truth is revealed. The man they killed was not the real dealer. He was only a pawn. The CIA sends James a CCTV picture. When Niall sees it, she freezes. She knows this face. She had seen this woman many times in her dreams. The woman stealing books after killing a man. The next day in Paris, an old ally named Booker drinks heavily in a bar. He drinks too much because Andy had removed him from the team, and his heart is broken. When he returns to his apartment, he notices the door is open. He enters carefully, but inside, someone is waiting. It is the queen. She is not alone. One of her men is with her. They capture Booker and take him away to a house near the sea. The queen looks at him and says it was not hard to find him. His drinking, his carelessness, made him easy prey. Booker sits in silence while the queen keeps asking about Andy. Her eyes are sharp, her voice heavy, and she wants only one answer. Where is Andy? But Booker does not lie. He tells her he does not know. The truth makes the queen angry. She always believed Andy was trapped somewhere, suffering the same way she had suffered in her prison. But now she learns Andy is free, living her life, walking in the open world, and yet Andy never came to look for her. The pain in the queen's heart burns deeper. Meanwhile, the team separates for a short time, each one needing rest. In France, Joe tells Nikki that he wants to be alone. Nikki lets him go, but feels something is not right. He can sense Joe is hiding something. Quietly, Nikki follows him, taking Niall with him. At last, they catch Joe in a corner of the city. The truth comes out. Joe has been secretly bringing food and supplies to Booker, trying to help him. Nikki gets furious. Old wounds open again, and both start arguing. Nikki cannot forgive Booker's betrayal. But then Niall speaks. She tells them she checked Booker's apartment and found no one there. Instead, there were stains of blood on the walls and the floor. Something terrible had happened. Far away in Korea, Andy and James travel to meet an old immortal named Ta. Long ago, Tua refused to join Andy's team, choosing his own path. But Andy now believes that Tua is the man Niall kept seeing in her dreams. During their talk, Tua takes them to his secret library. Inside, shelves are filled with records and stories of immortal lives. But some books are missing. This proves Niall's dreams were not only dreams, but true visions. Tua explains those books were stolen by Discord, the first immortal known. Once upon a time, Tua and Discord were close friends. Together, they had witnessed how, 500 years ago, Andy and the Queen were captured by mad religious fanatics. Tua had begged Discord to help, but she walked away and did nothing. Somehow, Tua managed to save Andy, but by then the Queen had already been thrown into the sea. Since that day, Discord kept herself hidden from the world. She built wealth and power, protecting herself from human cruelty, and in time she began trading even with weapon dealers. Tua still cannot understand why she has suddenly returned, but he knows one thing. She stole many books that hold important pieces of their history. It is then that Andy shares a truth with Tua and James. Her immortality has ended. She fears Discord may already know the secret. Later, they all return to their safe house. There, Tua meets the rest of the team for the first time. Tension is heavy in the room. In the middle of the talks, Joe receives a call from Booker. Booker begs for a meeting. Nikki and Joe go to bring him. And when he arrives, nobody looks happy. Trust is not healed. Booker tells Andy that the Queen is free now. He shows her a letter sent by the Queen herself. In it, she asks Andy to meet her at the old, special place they once shared, filled with their memories. Andy does not wait. She takes the car and drives, but Niall follows, refusing to leave her alone. Niall persuades her, saying she will go with her to help if anything goes wrong. Back in the house, Booker tries to act normal with the team, but Nikki watches him with suspicion. He cannot trust him again. On the road, Andy drives fast, and memories rise inside her. She remembers the day she lost the Queen. That day, fire raged everywhere, and in her blind anger, Andy almost killed an innocent man. Only the thought of the Queen stopped her hand. At a petrol station, Andy goes to the bathroom with Niall. There, she finally speaks her fear. She says she is afraid the Queen will not be the same person she once was. Niall is shocked. She has never seen Andy scared before. The next day, in Italy, Andy finally meets the Queen. Niall watches from a distance. Andy's voice is soft, filled with regret, as she says sorry for not finding her. She explains she had tried, but the ocean was too wide and too deep. Andy asks her to come back, to join the team again, but the Queen refuses. Her heart has turned cold. She no longer wants to fight for humanity, because humanity gave her nothing but pain. When the Queen realizes Andy will not leave her friends to stay with her, she walks away. Andy follows her, telling Niall to stay behind. At that same moment, Niall notices someone else, Discord, stepping out of the building, watching. Niall begins to follow her. On the other side, Andy catches up with the Queen. She begs her to stop, but the Queen turns to fight. Andy refuses to fight back, her words crying that she does not want this battle. But the Queen attacks with full power, forcing Andy to defend herself. The two clash, strong warriors, using everything around them as weapons. The fight is fierce, sharp, and painful, both of them holding nothing back. Then Niall arrives, rushing to stop them. She shouts that Discord is right behind them. Discord only smiles, her face calm, and walks away. Niall runs after her. In that moment, the Queen calls Niall by her name. Andy realizes the truth. Discord must have been the one who freed the Queen. That means they are working together now. The fight begins again, and this time the Queen rips away the necklace from Andy's neck, the one Andy had once given her as a gift. With that, she escapes into the crowd. Andy chases her desperately, but in the busy city streets, the Queen disappears. Meanwhile, Niall follows Discord into an old church. Inside, Discord is waiting. Her words are sharp like blades. She tells Niall that she was alive even during the time of Jesus, when he was nailed to the cross. She laughs at Andy and her team, mocking them for still fighting for humanity's good. Then she reveals something strange and powerful. She says she and Niall share a deep bond, something no one else can understand. As proof, she shows the matching marks carved on both their arms. Niall sees the truth, but her mind fills with fear. Discord claims that Niall will be the last immortal, the final one. But without explaining more, she turns away and leaves, disappearing into the shadows. The team returns to their safe house. Everyone sits together, trying to decide what to do next. The air feels heavy, no one speaking too loudly. In one corner, Andy sits alone, lost in memory. She remembers the moment when the Queen had given her that necklace, a gift of love, and tears burn quietly in her eyes. Meanwhile, Tua turns to Booker with a serious face. He asks him if Niall has ever hurt Andy. Booker nods slowly and tells the truth. Yes, on the day Niall first met Andy, they fought. Niall stabbed Andy with a knife. Tua then explains an old belief, a legend whispered among immortals. He says Niall may carry a hidden power, the power to take immortality away from another. Discord may want to use this very power to destroy the whole team. Tua adds another detail. If Niall ever wounds an immortal, that immortal has one final chance. They can choose to pass their immortality onto someone else before they are gone forever. The next morning, Booker quietly tells Andy that maybe it is time for him to leave. But Andy refuses, stopping him, her voice firm. The situation is too serious now. Booker sighs and admits something from his heart. Sometimes he feels that if his life had an ending, maybe it would mean something more. At the same time, far away at an airport, Discord whispers poisonous words into the Queen's ears. She slowly pushes her against Andy's team, feeding her anger. The Queen, her face hard, says she also wants revenge on humanity. Discord smiles, fully agreeing, and their bond grows stronger. Soon after, in Indonesia, a truck arrives near a nuclear facility. Guards see it and open fire at once. Bullets hit, but the truck does not stop. It crashes into the gate and explodes in a small blast. Everyone thinks the driver is dead, but it is the Queen, and in seconds her body heals. She rises again, fearless. She grabs a guard, holding him hostage to distract others. At the same moment, Discord's men storm in from behind, firing their guns wildly. Chaos breaks out. More trucks crash into the facility's building, creating terror. Workers scream and run in panic. The guard are slaughtered one by one. The Queen walks deeper inside, heading toward the inner rooms, unstoppable. Back at the safe house, Booker sees Niall training outside. He steps closer and challenges her to a sparring fight. Niall agrees. Soon Tua joins them too, saying he wants to test himself as well. The three begin a fierce practice battle. The sound of fists and weapons clash in the air. Their speed and power prove one thing clearly. Each of them alone is strong enough to fight many enemies. The training grows intense. Suddenly Niall strikes a little too hard, and her blade cuts Booker's hand. She gasps, saying sorry, but Booker smiles and shakes it off. None of them treat it as serious. But later, when they are alone, Booker shows Tua the wound again. It is not healing. His eyes show the truth. He is no longer immortal. He begs Tua not to tell Andy. A short while later, James gathers everyone. He has something urgent. He shows the security footage from the nuclear facility. On the screen, the team can see it with their own eyes. The Queen and Discord's men have taken control of the place. Worse, bombs are already fitted inside the nuclear core. Everyone knows now, this is a trap, but they also know they cannot run. If the bombs explode, the world will pay the price. As they prepare, Joe speaks to Nikki in private. His voice shakes. He admits he is scared. But Nikki holds his hand and tells him their love is strong. Their bond will never break, no matter what happens. The fear in Joe's heart calms a little. A few hours later, the whole team rides on bikes, rushing toward the nuclear plant. James stays outside with his scanner, guiding them through earpieces. Inside, the rest of the team begins their search. Everywhere they look, small bombs are planted. The tension rises. Suddenly, Discord's men surround them from all directions. The team cannot fire. They are too close to the bombs. One wrong shot, and everything will explode. So the battle begins with bare hands and blades. Swords clash, knives flash, axes swing. Martial arts moves crash against each other. The enemies are not the strongest, but their speed is sharp, forcing the team to split apart. Some of the men are thrown down from upper levels. The sound of bodies hitting the floor echoes. Suddenly, a gunshot breaks the rule. A blast shakes the building. In that blast, Nikki is badly wounded, his body thrown down. For a moment, it looks like the end, but within minutes, he heals, standing again, stronger. Tua, Nikki, and Joe find a doorway and push forward. On the path, another small blast slows them down, smoke filling the air, but it only delays them for seconds. They reach the control room, but inside, more enemies are waiting. The fight begins again, brutal and violent, until at last they defeat them. Just as they breathe in relief, the doors slam shut. The heavy locks click, and the whole room is sealed tight. Suddenly, a dangerous gas, liquid nitrogen, spreads through the facility. In seconds, it freezes Tua, Nikki, and Joe completely, turning them into statues of ice. Within moments, a few men appear and lift their frozen bodies into large bags. Meanwhile, Andy is also caught by two enemies. They shock her with electricity, knocking her to the ground. Panic flashes in her eyes, but before the attackers can react further, Niall makes a daring leap to save her. She grabs a pipe, but it breaks under her weight, sending debris crashing down. Andy's anger explodes, and with raw power, she throws the enemies across the room. She looks down for Niall, but she is nowhere to be seen. Outside, James spots more enemies and runs forward with his gun. He fires fiercely, but there are too many attackers, and he is quickly overpowered and captured. Andy calls out for her team, her voice echoing in the chaos, but no one answers. Just as she is about to be taken, Booker swings in with an axe, knocking the enemies aside. A small explosion at the door blocks their path, forcing Andy and Booker to find another route. Andy realizes that Discord is controlling all the doors. She smashes the cameras, freeing their path from surveillance. As they move forward, Booker notices Andy's wounds healing rapidly. He tells her quietly that he has passed his immortality, his Amrita, to her. Andy watches in disbelief as their enemies are defeated one by one. Suddenly, Andy is cut on the hand. She watches as her own body heals instantly, and for the first time, she fully believes Booker. More enemies arrive, and Booker makes a sacrifice. He runs past the door and locks it behind him, holding the enemies back so Andy can advance. She frantically tries to open the door, but it is impossible. Bullets tear into Booker's body, but he fights relentlessly, taking down every enemy in his path. Finally, he falls forever, leaving Andy to carry on. Meanwhile, Niall emerges from the debris and reaches the inner chambers, finding the Queen. She tries to warn her, explaining that Discord has deceived her, but the Queen, furious and blinded by anger, attacks Niall instead. The two clash in a ferocious fight. At last, Niall strikes the Queen's stomach, stealing her Amrita. The Queen, stunned and wounded, realizes her power is gone. In that moment, Discord arrives, striking Niall with his sword and knocking her to the ground. Her men lift Niall's body and carry her away. With most of the team subdued, a door opens and Andy rushes inside. She reaches the control room where the Queen sits, holding the trigger to a bomb. They stare at each other, the weight of their past lives heavy in the air. They remember all they fought for, all they lost, and how the world has changed them. Andy speaks to the Queen, pleading with her, and slowly, the Queen's heart softens. She does not detonate the bomb, but Andy notices something horrifying. Her wounds are not healing. The Queen's Amrita is gone, and she is no longer immortal. Suddenly, a strange noise calls Andy's attention. She runs outside and sees Discord carrying their captured bodies into two helicopters. The climax begins. Andy summons every ounce of strength and leaps, swinging an axe to break a helicopter window, clinging desperately as the helicopter spins wildly. Its rotors strike walls, tossing debris around. She climbs carefully, inch by inch, reaching the pilots. Bullets spray her way, and she falls onto the roof of the facility. Her wounds heal quickly, and she watches as one helicopter escapes. The second helicopter returns, with Discord inside, signaling for Andy to join her. Andy jumps again, but instead of climbing inside, she drags Discord down from the helicopter. A fierce, face-to-face fight erupts. Both hold swords, striking with brutal precision. Each blow carries years of anger, pain, and determination. During the clash, Andy notices Discord's wounds are no longer healing. Discord has lost her Amrita. Andy realizes that Discord's plan was to capture the team and steal Niall's immortality. The fight continues, but Discord proves stronger. She drives her sword through Andy's chest, knocking her to the ground. Discord escapes in the helicopter, leaving Andy lying on the rooftop. Andy swears to herself, clutching her sword, that no matter what, she will save her team. Hours later, she searches her library for clues, but finds nothing useful. She turns her attention to the Queen, now slowly healing under her care. The two women, once enemies, finally let go of old misunderstandings, forgiving each other. Together, they make a new vow to destroy Discord once and for all, side by side. And with that, the epic story of the Old Guard 2 comes to its dramatic, powerful end, leaving the world of immortals forever changed, and Andy ready to protect her team at any cost.
Join next time for another story that makes you think and feel. Until then, stay curious and stay safe.